Welcome to the Porsche Club Insider, your one stop for all things Porsche and PCA. Here's your host, Vu Gwyn, and the Insider crew.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 185. We are just one day away from celebrating PCA's 70th anniversary.
I guess by the time they listen to this, we already have.
And there's a flurry of things going on in the office as we get ready, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But first, let's make sure we thank our presenting sponsor, Pirelli Tires, to have to achieve the highest levels of performance, safety, noiselessness, and grip on the road surface. Innovative tires that can satisfy even the most specific mobility needs of the end consumer. And I want to thank all of you for listening. If you aren't currently a PCA member and own a Porsche, what are you waiting for? Grab that VIN, head over to PCA.org and make yourself a member. If you're looking for a Porsche, you can join the test drive program again at PCA.org. Let's go over what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about our adventures at Treffen at sea, how we prepare for the open house, what do we think of the new 911 Turbo S, what does the in production of the 718 Boxster and Cayman mean, will Porsche continue with the 963 in IMSA and WEC, Porsches can now charge at Tesla charging stations, and will Porsche sell another slantnose, and many more things as we go through all of it. I'm just kind of recovering from the sensory overload that we experienced at Treffen at sea. So, Manny, how did it go for you? You weren't on duty.
I was going to say I was on vacation, even though I had a ton of people coming up to ask me questions about the cruise. I had to explain to them that I'm not involved with the cruise, so I know as much as they do, but that I would ask Melanie, or sometimes I would text Melanie just to ask her a question if I knew she was available to answer. It was a lot of fun. It was, I guess, to tell the listeners, we went to New England and Canada, which at first when it was announced, I thought, well, we live in the mid-Atlantic, but it's very relaxing to be on the boat. And this is the one cruise I do a year, so when people say I'm not a cruiser, I'm going, and neither am I. This is it. I have no desire to do any other cruise, at least not yet. But I do have a great time when we're on the cruise.
Yeah, we set off. Thank you to Diana and the folks at Beeline. We actually were fortunate enough to be able to be a part of a bus ride up to New York, so that was cool. We didn't have to drive ourselves
Very
to
nice.
New York.
Yep.
And the bus unloaded us at the port, and then from New York we went to Boston, we went to Portland, Maine, then Portland, Maine to St. John, and then
Fungi Bay.
Yep, Fungi Bay, and then from there we went to Halifax and back. And as Manny said, it's those of you that may have cruised before, cruising with PCA is much different. With 900 individuals, 900 PCA members, 900 out of the roughly 3,000 folks that are on board, it still feels like it's our ship,
Without a doubt.
Even though there's like 2,000 other people. And shout out to the folks on the Princess Cruise Lines. Like the ports can be hit or miss because it's ran by the ports, and getting on to the ship sometimes are more efficient than others, but once you're on the ship, like, no doubt, like, they really do customer service right, and that's what I love about the cruise experience. And anything from taking care of your room with a smile, to the dining, to the activities. We had PCA specific seminars, games, dishes, our desserts. There were Pirelli desserts, so it's very cool. And the destinations that we had for this year weren't necessarily exotic, but I think most people came just because they knew we were all going to be together.
Yeah, and I think the fact that they weren't super exotic also meant that it was more relaxing, in the sense there wasn't like you were going to Paris and you're like, I got all this stuff I got to see in 6 or 7 hours. So as soon as we hit the ground running, it's going to be rush. It seemed much more relaxed, and enjoyable.
But I know PCA members being PCA members, many of them had an itinerary that they built themselves, including they went to a baseball game in Boston.
That was impressive.
That's
and I
impressive.
asked her how long ago she bought it. She bought it like several months ahead of time. And I thought that was the greatest idea. And I wish I would have thought of that.
Yeah.
Because Fenway's hard to get tickets, and they only seat, I think, less than 40,000. It's a small stadium, but to be able to say you saw the Red Sox play at Fenway's, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, we people got to see Fenway. People did Faneuil Hall. They did the Freedom Trail walk. They went to the North End.
No, we had the Boo and Loanne Gwynn tour guides.
The abbreviated
I felt
tour.
bad because people were saying, "What did you guys see?" And I was like, I felt like it was more like, "What did we eat?"
Which is typically the tours that the Gwynn family takes.
Yeah, but that Italian restaurant you took us to,
The Daily Catch.
Daily Catch, that
If
was
you're in
awesome.
Boston, you go to the North End, you're going to hear about Mike's Pastry. Like, that's an institution. But right across the street from Mike's Pastry is this tiny, tiny restaurant called the Daily Catch. And if you are lucky enough that there isn't a long line, which we weren't.
felt like it was 5 tables in
Yeah,
there.
like 5 tables at most, 1 cook, 1 server. They cook everything on a skillet, and oh my gosh, the food was
No, it was
fantastic.
just top notch. And in fact, you spotted that there was no line.
Yeah, we were in
And so
heaven.
we were sat pretty quickly. And yeah, and when we left, the line that there was to get in, we would have never found that out if you hadn't taken us there. We would have. It's so easy to walk right by that restaurant.
Yeah.
'Cause there was so much places to eat, good places to eat. And yeah, we took an Uber from the cruise terminal. Well, I guess even back up before that, Northeast region came out.
Yes, that was a highlight for a lot
on
of
Labor Day, which was very nice of them, and they brought like I think 7 or 8 cars.
Yep.
And members came out and greeted all the PCAers as they disembarked from the ship. And for those who never cruise, it's not like you're pulling up to the port in your pickup truck and you just open the doors and you get out. There's a lot of procedures that they have to do before they start releasing people. Plus, you got, like we said, 3,000 people in the boat, and maybe 2,500 want to get off the boat to
Right.
go see. So the lines form and everything. So we're still let out pretty quickly because we got there so early. So
Yeah.
for some people, I think they were just getting to breakfast. But yet, Northeast region came out with some cars to greet us and set up a tent, and it was pretty cool.
Very nice. They got the traditional Dunkin' Donuts breakfast, the Boston breakfast, and the ports. I talked about getting on the ship earlier about the ports where it can be hit or miss. It's the same thing when you get to the ports of these destinations, and the regions may have the best of intentions of coming and bringing cars, bringing a tent, but finding someone that allows you to do so at the port is a tougher task than most people even realize. Thankfully, I will say that the Northeast region had some troubles reaching out to the port. They found somebody, but then that person didn't commit, and then they still, kind of like, okay, let's just go and see how it turns out. Thankfully, because it was a holiday and the parking lot next to where the ship was docked wasn't full, the port allowed them to set up. So that was super nice. And that was sort of a start to the regional experience at Treffen at Sea, because it's not often that we can have a local region be a part of it. And when we landed, our next one was was it St. John that they came out?
I think before that, did the cruise line let the people know that there would be a big contingent of Porsche owners?
No. The cruise line didn't actually. I think the region reached out to the cruise line to ask for help.
Well, I'm thinking
with the
about
ports.
letting the other passengers know, because when we first got on the boat, you can't go right to your room when you first get on the boat. So most people go and get lunch because it's right around the time you get in 10:30, 11. So it's right around lunchtime. So Roxanne and I were heading up to the buffet on the 16th floor. We got in the elevator, and as soon as we got in, a couple of people asked us, "Are you guys with the Porsche group?" And I thought, I wonder how they know that, because at that point we don't have the
Lanyards or
anything
Yeah.
to indicate that we're with Porsche. And then throughout that day, we had a lot of people asking about the Porsche group. So I think when they came out to see Boston, and they see all these Porsches lined up, that reinforced that there was a big contingent of Porsche owners on the boat.
Definitely. Yeah. So I think they kind of have to let the the other cruisers know that there's a big group on. Because I can imagine if you booked a cruise and almost half of your boat was some, I don't know, magicians or I don't know, whatever kind of group. I think you kind of need to know, like, what if it was a group that you didn't jive with or something? Like, what if it was like, it's like, oh, I'm going to be on a boat with 1,000 magicians. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm not
like a bunch of Pittsburgh Steelers fans.
So anytime there's a large contingency of people, you probably should let the other passengers know. But it all worked out well. Then we get to St. John, right? St. John, and we toured through there. We as staff, aren't able really to do any of the longer, what do they call them, excursions, because we're not sure if we're gonna have to stay on the ship or got to get back early. So we do our own little tours, and we did a walking tour of a shopping area and found one church and, checked out that church. And then our dear friend Nathan Murr is like, hey, let's go check out this other church.
He sees this steeple in the distance and he goes, hey, let's go look at that church over there.
Yeah, and it sounded like a good idea. Like, why not go check out another church? However, we didn't realize we were going to Waterloo, which Waterloo sounds pretty cool.
I didn't even know we had the area. I just started seeing things that, after working in Baltimore City, triggered my spidey senses that we were no longer in Mr. Rogers' neighborhood.
Yes, it was a pretty rough area, but thankfully nothing
Very
happened.
polite, though.
Very polite.
They were very polite. The consumers of illicit
non-prescription
narcotics.
medication. And
they welcomed us. I had a couple of people say welcome to St. John's.
Yep. And one of them was on a scooter and was fighting amongst themselves and was wrangling the scooter and said a couple of choice, colorful words. Towards the scooter.
Yeah.
And then it was hilarious because they walked up to us and apologized to us for using those words.
I don't see that happening in Baltimore.
That does not happen in Baltimore. Anyways, we get back safely from Waterloo, and of course we're met by the Acadia region's first visit to the ship, and they probably had at least, I want to say, 24 cars, and so that was really nice of them to come out. But that wasn't the big one. The one that you see on the screen here, Acadia Show and Shine, that was actually in Halifax. And in Halifax, they came out with like 50 cars.
Oh my! I have to talk of the ship because they have to give, it's in Canada obviously, so you have to give more paperwork. Again, when St. John's was out of the U.S., but nonetheless, it takes longer for them to disembark. Everyone was talking about the Porsches you could see right off the ship in the parking lot.
Yeah, I shout out to the Acadia region for taking care of St. John, but really coming out Halifax, Rick and the crew there. Not only did they get a large contingency of cars, we had 356, 914, 928, Cayennes, 911s, of course, and all different makes, all different models. But they also offered to all of our folks that were on a ship to be able to sign up for like half an hour tours that you could get into a Porsche with one of the local region members and they'll take you for a little ride. And I think they had like 200 people sign up.
A huge line. Yeah. And it was done ahead of time because somebody said, we should get in line. I'm like, if you didn't sign up ahead of time, the odds are you're not going to get a ride.
Everybody was.
They had a long wait list.
Oh yeah, and if they could fit extra people in, they did. They did an incredible job to accommodate great looking cars. The atmosphere was fantastic. They set up a tent and they were raising money for a good cause.
And we saw Tom Tallman and his quest to
add
more miles to his already 700 and some thousand miles.
742
or 43 from Rhode Island all the way up to
and we're gonna see him tomorrow. He's coming down here. He's coming down tomorrow.
Oh my God!
Yeah, my man is racking up the miles. The theme nights and such. We had our
shout out to our PCA members who
engage,
are competitive, but never do anything halfway. They had a 50 sock hop.
Yeah,
and people went all out dressing up as 50s. Then they had a 70s night, and the fact that they must have brought extra suitcases for all this stuff that they it was amazing. Like the pink ladies, I don't think they coordinated.
Right,
they just happened to be all dressed like the pink ladies,
right?
And the ladies with all the pink poodle skirts.
Yep.
It was
They came out in full force, and the best part was the Princess crew loved this. Like, to see their passengers be so engaged in partying. Like, we shut down every single event to the very end. Our seminars was standing room.
Oh, I told Alwyn that. I said there would be people standing up in the back. But was funny with the my wife ran into this. She went to use the restroom, I think on the sock hop night, and she came back. She said there was two ladies in the bathroom, and they were complaining because they saw everyone dressed in 50s. And they thought it was some event that the boat had not. They missed on the boat, and they were going to go see what it was about. And when they got there, they were told it was a private event for Porsche Club of America members. Yeah. And they said, yet another event that we're not invited to. And I said, well, you got to join PCA then.
Yeah.
If you want to be. So that's the kind of benefits of being on the boat with PCA, is there was events that were just open to PCA. And that was one of them. The seminars, like you said, we had several seminars also open just to PCA members.
Yeah, the seminars went over very well. We had Nathan Mers, Ray Schaefer, Alan Springer, let's see, Tag Heuer, Megan from Pirelli. It was, again, standing room only, tons of engagement, lots of questions. We did things together with the ship too. It wasn't everything was isolated. We had the Temptations, which they were good. They were good. I had a good time.
I did not realize they did so many songs that I knew.
Yeah.
Until we went to I think their last concert of the trip.
But the newest Temptation, I really enjoyed the newest Temptation.
The
Robbie Williams,
the sixth, Melanie's husband, who, with the help of Guinness beer,
there he is.
So their last song is "My Girl," their signature song, but they make an audience involvement, and they asked for two ladies. And of course, they had no problem getting that, and they asked for a gentleman. And at first, no one raised their hand. Then I hear from the corner of the auditorium, "Pick him."
Yeah.
And I look over as Melanie standing up, pointing towards Robbie, and Robbie's waving his hand. And I thought this will be interesting.
And Robbie was singing. I was watching because he was sitting in front of me. He was singing he knew the lyrics to every single song. So I think he was truly a fan, and not just.
I do too, but that doesn't mean I want to get in front of a full auditorium.
And when he got up there, I think he hugged every single Temptation.
That's when I realized Mr. Guinness may be involved a little bit.
But he sang the verse very well, and of course he ended it when he said "My Girl." He pointed to Melanie, so. Good, kudos to him.
So after that, he's riding the high of being on stage with the Temptations, and he's telling everyone who wants to hear that what he did. He got in the elevator and asked people they had been to the concert. That poor people in the elevator had not. Then he started singing to give them a demonstration of what they missed.
That's
and
hilarious.
the whole time, Melanie's rolling her eyes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you just created the monster. You told him to get up on stage.
I'm glad he had a good time, because he also. When you're married to a PCA staffer, you often get voluntold to do a lot, and he also did quite a bit for us on the cruise. So thank you to Robbie, and I'm glad he enjoyed his time being the sixth Temptation.
For that night, he was one of the Temptations.
And let's not forget our premier event on the cruise, which is the Diecast Concours at Sea in the Piazza, which is the main area at the middle of the ship, where we had close to 100 diecast models, from simple ones where people just simply bought and or brought their favorite one, to someone that created a diorama of a 914 coming down the hill with smoke and all that kind of stuff. And then a garage was built. There was someone that cast like a 993. The rainbow category had a rainbow of different color Porsches. Like, people went. Again, you said this earlier. It's pretty cool that PCA members are so engaged, and they bring it, especially when there's a competition involved. And with Diecast Concours C, we have first, second, and third for 4 different classes. We had stock, motorsports, pre-996, and then rainbow. So we had those 4 classes. So you have first, second, and third. You had the captain's best of show pick, which went to a diorama of I think it was a 964 cab, and super detailed.
And that winner got a free cruise.
Anywhere Princess sales. They got a cruise.
That was impressive for it.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that's the kind of prize.
Yeah, that's the prize you
winner,
get.
the captain's pick.
Yeah. And even more impressive is what do you think of the award ceremony with confetti cannons, live music?
It actually rivaled our real Concours.
It did.
We don't have confetti for the captain.
Maybe
of the
we
ship.
should. Who does? But the problem is picking up all the
Oh
confetti.
my god!
Like,
It would be
yeah, for us that would
complaints.
be tough. When, after our diecast Concours at Sea celebration, an army of princess people came.
and I
out to
knew you
clean it
ran
up.
out of judges when you asked me to judge Rainbow.
You are my catch-all in case something happens.
Because I was judging with Megan from Pirelli.
But the class I put you in is the funny part.
And I told her, I said, oh, I'm judging with you. She's like, oh, great. I said, but we're doing the color. Rainbow's our color website. And she goes, oh, okay. I said, and I'm colorblind. And she laughed. I said, no, I'm serious. I said, I am colorblind.
I knew
said,
you would
it's
have
pretty funny
fun
that
with
Boo put me in charge of the color category, of which I checked with her. I said, is this car that's entered silver?
Yes.
And she said, yes, it is. And I said,
That's
a lot of confidence to enter a silver car in the color category.
the 25th anniversary model, I
Yes.
think it was. Yeah.
But that did not win. There was other color cars that won. But yeah, some of the judges were taking it very, very seriously.
Judges were taking it seriously, competitors were taking it seriously, and people that were watching were impressed at how
I'm sure we had a 1/18 scale protest committee. It would have been filled.
we did because we call it the diecast Concours at Sea. Some people were ready to contest that the fact that one of the cars wasn't actually diecast. It
I
was
had
plastic.
someone ask me that,
Yeah.
and I said, I think it's just for fun.
Yeah, there's not a protest committee.
Yeah,
for
somebody
this.
asked me, he said, this isn't 1/18 scale. I thought it was all 1/18.
No.
And I was like,
This is
I
for
think it's
fun.
just for fun.
Yeah. Here's the other thing that Alaska was a bucket list cruise last year, but I did not get to see what I got to see on this cruise, which was a lot of dolphins and a lot of whales. Not only see them, but they were close enough to the ship that you could hear them blow out of their blowhole.
I think they were, what
That
kind of
pods?
whales were they?
I don't know. No.
They weren't the giant, what is it? The blue
They
whale?
had the tail.
Yeah,
like,
they had a tail, but
yeah.
they're not. I think of the one in the Smithsonian that looks
Oh,
like
yeah, no.
that's bigger than a tractor trailer.
Yeah.
But there were 60 of them, and they were. That's what the captain said. At least there were 60.
So cool.
And they were alongside the ship for about 45 minutes.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I remember Robbie, Melanie's husband, telling me, Jesus, I just paid $150 a person to go look at these whales tomorrow.
And I get to see it from my room.
And we're seeing them free right now on the side of the ship.
Yeah. Well,
But my favorite story was we go to dinner with Nathan Mers and his wife and a few other PCAers. And then we go to this great steakhouse they have there. And there's another couple and friends of Nathan and Susie. And so they introduce them. They say, oh, but they're not Porsche people. So we figured they're just friends of them.
oh yeah, that
And
couple,
we
yeah.
had dinner with them. We had a great time, asking questions about Australia and whatnot. And then we decide to go to the lounge because they're having a karaoke contest sponsored by The Voice, the
Yes.
show on television. And so we all head over there, and I sit next to and I can't remember his name, the husband from Australia. And I asked him, I said, so how long have you known Nathan and Susie? Thinking he might be a neighbor or a longtime friend. And he goes, about 14 hours. And I go, 14 hours? He goes, we were having dinner last night, and the tables are so close together. We were next to Nathan and Susie. So we started talking, and then they invite us to this dinner. And so we said, sure. So here we are. And he goes, and I kind of want to buy a Porsche now because evidently when you wear this, and he pointed to my lanyard, he goes, when you wear this lanyard, everyone's really friendly to you. And somebody came up and asked a question. He goes, do you know who they are? I said, I have no idea, but I know they're PCA members.
Yeah.
Because they're wearing the lanyard. And he goes, I got to get one of these lanyards because you get to know everyone on the ship.
I had
thought it
something
was kinda
similar
funny.
happen. I went to karaoke night and sat next to a gentleman, and he proceeded to tell me like, "Oh, it's your anniversary on the cruise." I'm like, "Are you with us?" He's like, "No, I just my wife happened to book this cruise, and I thought she booked it as a surprise because I get on, I see all these Porsche people, and I'm a huge Porsche fan and I'm a Porsche owner. I'm like, and you're not part of the club? He's like, oh, I used to be.
Is that the one with the 993?
No, he has a 914.6.
Oh, that's right. You told me. 'Cause I had another gentleman come up and he's like, I had a 993 that I love, and I've been thinking about buying another one. And I come on this, I think this is a sign because I see all these Porsche owners.
Yeah, so this 914.6 owner, he's like, yeah, I've owned it for, he's like the third owner or something like that. I think it's sunflower yellow 914.6. And he's like, yeah, isn't your headquarters like somewhere in Maryland or Northern Virginia? I'm like, yes. He's like, didn't you go to Oklahoma for parade? I'm like, how do you know so much about PCA and you're not a member? He's like, well, I still follow you guys, but I'm just not an active member. I'm like, you had better sign up. And certainly, I think his name is Tracy out of Manhattan Beach, I believe it is. So we should see him at Unstock with his 914.6 and there's so many people on the cruise and there are tie-ins and it's great for us to be showcased not only in front of our 900 members but these other 2,000 people seeing us have fun and they're wanting us to wanting to be a part of it all. Shout out also to Tag Heuer. They brought on incredible inventory for our members to see, but they also brought in museum pieces from Tag Heuer. Yeah. And the Tag Heuer that I knew about, but I never knew it existed in terms of us being able to see it. There were 7 Tag Heuer Monacos in the movie Le Mans. Right? There's 7 ones they used in the movie. Huh. They brought one of them on the ship, and recently one of the 7 went to auction, and it auctioned like at $2 million.
Did they let you wear it?
They let me look at it, but I didn't wear it. But I just thought that was cool that they brought that on the boat for us to see, and all the members got to see it.
And they actually sold watches too, right?
Oh yeah, they sold. I probably can't say how much they sold, but
6 figures though.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Well,
it's hard to do with some of the watches.
Yeah. And they brought unique timepieces that weren't. It's like imagine if Porsche brought inventory of cars that you couldn't get an allocation for. They brought an inventory of watches that you couldn't get, but you could get it on
because they weren't on sale or anything.
No, they're not on sale. However, because they were being sold on the ship, they were not tariffs were not applied, and also there was no tax.
International waters.
International waters.
I was telling somebody, I said, I don't think they were on sale, and I don't think they had like a special edition PCA.
No.
I said, I think it was just the
ability to
buy them. And plus, you said on the seminar, they had like a watchmaking clinic we went to where, God bless, watching these guys put together some of these movements.
Yeah, members had an opportunity to put a timepiece together, and I tell you what, if you don't have steady hands, you do not have a career.
Did somebody say, "Get me a Monaco, build me a Monaco"? And he's like, "You don't want the one I built."
But yeah, thank you to them for bringing all that. Before we get into open house, how about we say thank you to our newest corporate sponsor, Auto Atlanta. If you're chasing down Porsche parts that are impossible to find, be it for your 944 Turbo, your 914, check out Auto Atlanta. They have you covered. They've been taking care of Porsches and only Porsches since 1978. They have parts. They ship internationally, and they also offer tech expert advice to boot. So if you need help, just reach out to them at autoatlanta.com. They have a team of all-star Porsche specialists to handle everything that you need. They can talk to you about complex mechanical repairs, full restorations, regular service, or even detailing your car. Guess what? They also buy and sell pre-owned vehicles. So if you're looking for a Porsche and you don't have one yet, maybe they have one in the inventory that might be to your liking. They'll help you put one in your garage or your driveway, or they'll buy the one that you started the project and never finished. Give them a call. They buy any Porsche. Whether you're building a classic or just need a single clip to finish that project, Auto Atlanta has you covered. Again, autoatlanta.com. Be sure to use PCA, the number 5, OFF to get your 5% off your first order. Again, that's autoatlanta.com. Porsche parts, Porsche people, Porsche passion since 1978.
I don't see Macan. Maybe that's in the other cars part they listed, but I found the easiest repair. In fact, I'm writing a tech tips article on the Macan. Mm-hmm. So the Macan, like other cars, has a pollen filter or cabin filter. They call it. Filters the air that goes inside your car. And they should be replaced, they say, every 10,000 miles. And I didn't know if mine had ever been replaced because we bought mine with 7,000 miles. So I said, you know what? It wasn't too expensive, like $20 for a filter. It is so easy. You need zero tools.
Is it in your behind the glove box?
No, it's it's behind the glove box inside the car.
Yeah.
Because the 987 Boxster is pretty simple. I don't know about the 986 the same way. It's you lift up the hood
and it's under that panel.
Yeah, super easy. And this one's equally easy. It's just you unscrew something like
a tab.
Pull down a cover, slide another cover, and then pull it out. No tools required other than a flashlight to help you see where we're working at. And the whole thing took about 10 minutes, and you have a fresh air cabin filter. And I heard the dealer charges anywhere from $200 to $400 to do that.
To do that, wow!
So save yourself some money and do it yourself.
Yeah. Did you get an OEM replacement, or did you?
So here's the interesting thing. When I pulled it out, it was really thick, and I thought it was a Molly. And I got a Man.
Yeah, that's a good quality.
But the Man, you could tell, was much thinner. But as I started looking at another video that they took out a factory piece, that looked like the Man filter. So I think someone might have stuck in. There's another filter you can get that's even stronger, and I think that's the one that was in my car.
Okay. It's worth getting a quality one.
Yeah, it's like a $30 filter, but the money you save by doing it yourself might be worth it.
Yep. All right, so as I said, there's a flurry of activity behind us. I don't know if you'll hear a vacuum as we're recording here, but we're cleaning up. It's like your parents coming to visit once a year.
Yes.
We steam the carpets, we clean the windows. Just a few minutes ago, Manny and I were out front with the pressure washer, spraying down the front of the office and just making sure everything is clear.
I do like the foam cannon. That was a lot better than last year.
My foam cannon?
Yeah, because we got everything, all the bugs. We have these lights in front of if you've never been to our building, we have lights that obviously are on at nighttime, and they attract bugs, and the bugs decide to die on our walls, and it stays on there all year round. So every open house we have gotten into the habit now of cleaning out the bugs and making that. Of course, the other businesses around us must hate us because theirs look terrible and ours is nice and clean.
And I thought about doing our one neighbor's one, but I'm like, well, if I do his, then I got to do the one next to it. So then I got to do the whole freaking row, and we don't have time for that. So I just stopped.
I took some pictures of you came in. I don't know why don't we hire an outside firm to do this?
To do what?
What you did till 2 a.m. Clean carpets.
You know what? Because one, it's super expensive, and we do most of the work already because we got to clear everything out. And I don't know. I guess I'm cheap. I don't know. I feel like I do a better job because I care. And people, he's talking about steam cleaning the carpets, which we have.
Yeah, I took some pictures. I gave to Damon. That was all of our stuff up on our desk.
Yeah.
So when Boo came in that night, he would have clear carpet to the steam clean.
Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of like mowing the lawn too. Sometimes it's just satisfying to see a dirty carpet become a clean carpet.
How many times did you have to empty the water thing?
Yeah, it was nasty. Yeah, I empty the tank at least 10 times. So anyways, we are prepared. We have about 300 people signed up, easily 100 cars, and some highlights of cars that will be coming. We have a Carrera GT coming. We're hoping to have a 918 come. We have Chip Reichert's 904 coming. We have a R coming. We have an ST coming. And of course, I think we have a 4-liter, a GT3 4-liter. And then
997.
Yeah, 997. And
RS, GT3 RS.
GT3 RS, yeah. So lots of cool stuff. And you know what? And we have some VIPs coming through. Ron Gordon, we know he's coming because he's local, but Aaron Ambrosino, our national president, is coming through. Yeah. So for those of you that haven't met the top man at the totem pole, he's going to be here. And we've got cake, we've got DJ, we've got a blowout on merchandise, like stuff we don't want to put back into the office. And
hopefully, obviously, when people hear this, it already happened.
Yeah.
But the veterans know to get there early.
Yeah.
To hit the racks because
yep.
They discount stuff. And sometimes what I think is cool, and Charlotte said it doesn't sell as well, and I thought it was really cool. You have people that order regional stuff, and then decide they don't want it or whatever. It comes back to us, and we can't really resell it unless we find someone with that exact size and whatnot. So it kind of sits on a shelf or a rack until the open house. And so there was some cool stuff like Golden Gate, Ohio Valley, all these different regions that you show up.
I am not allowed to come home with any more logoed merchandise.
My wife's the opposite. She
Really?
She has bags of stuff, and I'm like, I work here, right?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Loanne's like,
I got you a bunch of stuff.
When we go out to dinner, she's like, do you mind wearing something without a logo tonight? And that takes me a while to find something that doesn't have a logo that isn't like 12 years old. But anyways, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to it, and I'm sure we'll report back on how everything went. All right, let's talk about the drop of the 911 Turbo S, which I was fortunate enough to see in person when I was in Monterey. And I think, as Manny said, it's not a big secret, and it's not the design of the car that's really going to make your jaw drop. It's the performance numbers of what the new 911 Turbo S is capable of, and as it stacks up to, let's say, a GT2 RS of not too long ago, this thing packs a punch that is equally, if not more, potent.
Yeah, how much weight did they say it added, Damon? You remember? Because you wrote the article.
Yes, 180 pounds over the previous generation 992 Turbo S. So that includes the 2 electric turbos instead of the 1 electric turbo in the GTS-T hybrid, but same sort of system. It has the same, I think it's 1.9 kilowatt hour battery, and it also has I believe it's 54 horsepower I'm reading here, if it's the same as the GTS-T hybrid. Electric motor sandwiched between the transmission and engine.
Yeah, 700 horsepower, or 701.
Around the Nürburgring in 7 minutes and 3 seconds.
Again, that's
complete comfort.
That is GT2
for a heavier car. What was it? 10, 15, 20 seconds?
It was 14 seconds faster
or
lower time than the previous generation 992.1 Turbo S. And we should keep in mind, actually, that this car, and it's still... What was the GT3 RS? 7 minutes and 40 or low 50s?
Yeah.
So, all that weight in the turbo, or the new Turbo S, it's 3,829 pounds. So, quite heavy, but still quick.
Yeah, very capable. It has, I saw the new bucket seats that are foldable. The one thing that and this is going to sound silly because the car is monstrous in terms of power and capability, but I think it's going to trigger people because it says hybrid. It says hybrid on the side. And
you can't delete that.
You can't delete it. And I feel like, remember like the GMCs back in the day, they had hybrid on the side of it. Like it didn't need to have it. I don't know why it has to have it. Like I get it. It is a hybrid. And it's all about performance, but it'd be nice if that could just be
not only hybrid, it's a T-hybrid.
T-hybrid.
There is a reason why electric or hybrid is on the side, and I think Porsche explained it at Tech Tactics. They didn't have to put electric on the side of the Macan electric. Just like the hybrid, perhaps they had a choice, and it's a safety thing. If the car crashes and you have emergency responders, they have to know that there's a high voltage battery in there.
Yeah,
it's not a law, but it might be at some point.
I can understand why that is important, but there's other ways to signal that the car has that.
But if you don't really like it, it's not like it's welded on there. You can
remove
it yourself.
So is it a vinyl? Is it a vinyl decal? I didn't touch it, so I don't know if it was.
I think it's vinyl.
Yeah. If it's vinyl, oh, okay. Then
I think the one on the Cayenne is actually a badge.
Right. Yeah. I'm still getting used to, and I know it's for efficiency, and they can change up the amount of volume of air that goes through the front grills. But man, that's a big front grill. Those panels that open and close.
I wonder if that's for people like us who are enthusiasts and are used to the older style, the horizontal.
Yeah.
And because I've heard other people that aren't Porsche enthusiasts but just saw the car and they said, "Oh, I love the front end."
Oh yeah, maybe.
And maybe it's like the BMWs.
Who's gotten used to that?
I don't know. Has anyone?
I don't know that people have gotten used to those big buck teeth. I don't know. Oops. I'm sorry. I didn't mean if you own one, no disrespect. It's like I'm used to a 320i grill that's this big and the new one's like 10 feet tall.
Kidneys rather than buck teeth.
Those are some big kidneys. I've never seen kidneys that big. The kidneys on my 320i is like relatable.
So then the question becomes, when will we see the GT2 RS?
Mm-hmm.
And I would assume that so the all-wheel, it doesn't have to be all-wheel drive because the system is powering the rear wheels. So they couldn't easily. It's not like the electric motor has anything to do with the drive system.
Right.
Well, I mean, it's an all-wheel drive system, with or without the electric motor. So technically, it's driving all four because
it is because it's part of the flywheel.
Yeah, it's
right?
it's basically the flywheel is what the electric motor is.
But it doesn't need to be four.
Doesn't need to be. That's
The same application can just be.
Because isn't like the E-Ray that does the front wheels, right?
I don't know enough, but I'm pretty sure they're hub-mounted sort of things or axle.
I think
mounted.
It does the front, yeah.
But in a rear-wheel drive car like the GTS T Hybrid, it's rear-wheel drive. If you have a all-wheel drive system like the Carrera 4 GTS T Hybrid, that electric motor can power all four wheels. It just matters because it's between the transmission and engine.
Yeah. So here's something that was we discussed on the cruise when people were talking about. There's one person that was adamant about save the manuals and manuals forever, blah blah blah. Which again, I love a manual, but I don't know if you were there. You were probably there, Manny. And I was just like, why do people focus on one being better than the other, and like one should be the savior and the other should not exist? Like, obviously PDKs sell way better than manuals. That's why dealers stock them. If more people wanted manuals, they would make more manuals. But the reality is, people want PDK, and that's okay. PDKs are great. I don't think that you have to love a manual and have to hate a PDK. So with hybrid and the technology here, like I would, if you haven't driven one, reserve your comments until you drive it, because we drove the GTS and I can tell you, I don't care if it's hybrid, if it's nuclear powered or whatever it is, the performance is what it's all about.
Well, I was trying to get your attention because the panelists were all saying that if you keep buying manuals, they'll keep making them, and that's not the truth.
Yeah.
The truth is, September 2029, it becomes law that cars have to have automatic emergency braking. And I'm not the one who just realized this. I was told this by insiders at Porsche that will almost 100% indicate the end of the manual, because of the software and the complexity to make a manual car be able to still be running if the car brakes for you.
Oh.
Yeah. I hadn't thought of that either until he pointed it out to me.
So automatic braking.
You've seen it with other cars. We've rented and stuff. It scares the heck out of you because it goes good beep, 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 beep,
right.
and it brakes for you. But that's going to become standard on all cars being made after September 2029.
So, like Loan's Civic, which is a manual, it also has automatic braking. It coexists. You're saying it can't coexist?
Does it have automatic braking?
Yeah, like when I roll up really fast in my driveway, it goes like it tells me to brake.
But does it actually hit the brakes?
Well,
or does it warn you that that's an anti-collision?
Oh,
exactly.
Maybe
Damon's point.
Yeah,
From what I was told, that software required and probably maybe hardware for the car to keep running. Automatic is pretty easy.
Yeah,
that it brakes and the car keeps running. The manual, it's essentially putting the clutch in for you, right?
Yeah.
Or somehow physically putting it in neutral.
Right.
And then if you need to hit the gas again to avoid the situation, what happens?
Oh.
So,
you know what? Now that I think back, maybe Loan's car just like warns me that I should brake, and it doesn't actually brake. I haven't not listened to it, so maybe, yeah.
You remember that time in a rental car that I was driving and I was about to make a passing maneuver, but I was kind of close to the car in front. I think
yeah.
this was in California.
Yeah.
And I hit the gas, I think, and the car braked for me.
Oh.
I don't know if you remember that, but yeah, it's a pretty.
But this is going to make life really interesting for
You really notice.
driver's education.
Oh, yeah.
Because will the manufacturer make a defeat button and take the liability, or will it not be something that you can override?
And then we're all going to have to be like 10 cars away.
In
from
driver's
each other?
ed, I used to joke that I got to be able to see your color of your eyes if you're going to get a pass signal.
Right.
That was in the instructor group, never. But yeah. So, anyways, I think we can wish that manuals will be forever, but I think the end is very near.
Oh.
But we still have
Enjoy it while you can.
our cars.
And
that,
you have used cars.
Yes, we have our cars that we have. And I mean, PDK is pretty darn engaging if you want it to be.
It is.
It moves so quick
Yeah.
that, and of course, electric cars, there's no shifting anyhow. The Taycan has 2 gears and gets out of first gear pretty quick, and you're not having to shift at all.
It's kind of interesting that we're going to live through all this. So the next one, I don't know if it's gloom and doom, but the end of the production of the ICE 718 Boxster and Cayman. Whoo,
That's something that I don't think Porsche would have dreamed that they would be hung out to dry like this.
Yeah.
I mean, so I guess to back up, these cars aren't the best sellers for Porsche. As romantic as we want to be with sports cars, I remember being told that they sold more Cayenne Turbo GTs than they did Boxsters or Caymans, which just blew my mind because that's one of the most expensive Cayennes that they make, if not the most expensive. And they were selling more of those than Boxsters.
It's what the market will bear.
So, and it's just not Porsche. There's other manufacturers who, while we all want to wish that they were a sports car company, the fact is that they make just more than sports cars, and people weren't speaking with their wallet. Now, granted, they haven't made a lot of changes to that platform because they knew it was coming to an end. And the worst part is if you think, well, maybe I will go buy 718 before they finish, that window's closed.
Right.
Unless you can find one on the lot that a dealer ordered and hasn't sold.
But do you find it interesting that we get all this news now that it's in the production for 718 Boxster and Cayman, yet I feel like there hasn't been much news on its replacement.
No, because the battery company went bankrupt, and I
So
haven't heard any.
So you're basically losing two products to sell.
Yes, that's where they were hung out to dry.
With no replacement.
The whole idea was by now we would have had
the
Boxster Cayman EV, would have probably been an awesome car.
Yeah.
And people would have said, listen, this is the future. Look at the performance numbers, just like the Turbo S.
Yeah.
I'm sure it would have just smoked base Cayman. And
so now all of that sports car demand is going to apply even more pressure on what's left in inventory, which is 911s.
Yeah, which is already hard to get.
Which is already hard to get.
It's not like dealers are trying to sell those. And
I'm trying to paint a picture that we can somehow see the light at the end of the tunnel, but man, it's getting tougher and tougher.
No, it's getting tough for Porsche.
Yeah.
It's for between China losing, even though it's not a huge part of their sales, still they're losing 2 cars.
Yeah.
I worry about this from a club standpoint because now every year they don't have this. We have a gap where. The used Porsche is the entry-level Porsche for many people.
Yeah.
And now you're going to have a gap of these cars that won't be available. It's kind of like when people are looking for the 97.2s or the 997.2s that was built during the housing crisis. So they didn't sell as many because people didn't have the money, and that's why they're so hard to find now. Will this be the same case in 10 years when people are looking for the last of the Cayman Boxsters, and there's a gap? But they want ICE cars, and there's not even they can't even say, "Well, I'll buy the first gen EV Boxster," because that isn't out yet.
Right.
So hopefully we'll see something in 2027, maybe.
Ooh. All right. Well, I guess this is all continuation of sort of the economic climate and some decisions that are having to be made at the PAG level. The next one has to do with the future of the 963. Man, we are just a bunch of great. We started this podcast all happy, but now it's getting kind of a tough discussion.
In the cost cutting arena, Porsche has not confirmed, at least at the recording of this podcast, that they will continue with the 963 program in IMSA or WEC. A lot of the experts are saying they probably will continue with IMSA. WEC is questionable, primarily because WEC has a different set of class rules. So the 963 has to use, so in the 963, both when they run LMDH hybrid is LMDH, they can LMD, I'm trying to see if I can get it right. So one of them, so in IMSA they have to pick from 4 different chassis manufacturers, and they have to use the same hybrid system. In WEC, the manufacturers can make their own hybrid system, and I think maybe chassis. Basically, they're not competitive anymore.
Yes, correct. Ferrari and Toyota make their own chassis
And hybrid,
powertrain, hybrid system, everything.
Kind of like the 919 was.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So Porsche was trying to make customer cars and trying to get one thing to do everything. And they did well in IMSA, but they couldn't compete against Ferrari and Toyota, at least not compete as well as they should have. And they have not won Le Mans
Right.
with this car. And now they're saying that the rumor is they may pull out of WEC and then take hopefully the ticket from IMSA, winning the IMSA championship, and use that, because that guarantees you one car to run at Le Mans, and use that to run at Le Mans. But you just don't say suddenly, okay, we're going to join Ferrari and build our own chassis and hybrid system, because that involves a whole other financial commitment, of which right now they may not have the funds to commit to that, which, of course, the big picture is, aren't you glad they didn't get into Formula One?
Yeah. Right. Right.
That would have been a ton of money that at the time they had, but now it's questionable with the whole China thing and the sales not happening there anymore. I'm hoping, at least in the U.S., they keep the 963, because the 963 is very competitive in IMSA. Having won 25 Daytona 2 years in a row and looking like they're going to win the championship again. I would love to see that program continue.
Okay. On the positive side, if you own a Taycan and a new Macan, that now you can charge at Tesla charging stations.
Yeah, that's been something that they've been working on for a while. Yes, you're probably going to pay a lot more than a Tesla owner, but in a pinch,
you can use it.
Sure, you can use it. I've seen where some of the older Tesla charging stations, you have to park your car like a jerk, like sideways, and block other chargers to be able to
because it doesn't
cord to reach. The newer charging stations are set up for non-Teslas, and you can just pull into the parking spot. I'm sure that's all going to be rectified, because that's all revenue for Tesla. Now they have more customers using their network. Probably that won't make the other Tesla owners happy, because now they got
to share.
But when it was initially announced, Tesla stock went up, because once again, that's guaranteed revenue from all different sources.
Yep. So at Monterey, we did a little piece together with Gunther Works on the F26, which was an homage to a slant nose.
Which he said, don't call it a slant nose.
Which we are not calling it a slant nose.
Which was probably the reason why was
the reason
Porsche was working on their own.
Here we are. Look at that. A slant nose spied. I think it looks pretty cool.
I don't know about the headlights, but that you can never trust spy photos. Not because they're doctored or anything. It's because Porsche will put some stuff they have no intention of using just to disguise the car.
Yeah.
So a lot of people freak out and have panic attacks because they think that's the final product.
It looks like the Rennsport, the Rennsport one that they had.
The one that was not street legal.
The
that Grant did.
the GT2.
What was it called?
GT2?
It was a 935.
Well, there was the 935.
935
Rennsport edition.
Called,
yeah. That's what kind of reminds me of.
A Rennsport R or something like that.
I'm pretty sure they just called it the 935. And then there's the GT3R Rennsport edition.
I thought it was no, let's back up. Rennsport 6 had the 935.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Then the Rennsport 7 had the GT3R Rennsport.
Yep, exactly.
Is that the one you're thinking, R? Maybe?
I'm thinking of the earlier one, the 935.
That's the 935. Yeah. I'm thinking this wing reminds me of the GT3R.
Yeah.
Look at this. That's a GT3R.
Yep.
With that wing. That's
Yep.
the one that Grant was telling about how they designed it.
And the GT2 RS Club Sport 25 Years Edition, which is the Montai 25
Right.
years. That's what this reminds me of, this
Yeah.
white car.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there've been rumors about this car for a while, and
I wonder if it would become, a package for someone to be able to order for a street car. That'd be kind of cool.
all you got to do is run a limited amount, and they'll sell out before it even.
Flock bow.
Yeah, it'll be an instant hit for the people who want to relive the '80s and have the means to do so.
Yeah.
It's it'd be pretty cool to do it.
Yep. All right, so I'll remind everyone to head over to PCA.org to sign up for PCA's newsletters. We have performance news, e-brake news, and Mart Fresh news. Upcoming events will be in Santa Clarita at Porsche Santa Clarita, November 16th for Unstock 2025. Looking forward to seeing you all there. Insider news, I haven't honestly told anyone outside of those that have been on the cruise, but September 19 of 2026 will be the next Treffen at Sea, and that cruise will be heading out from Vancouver, visiting San Francisco, Santa Barbara, and LA. And sort of the theme of this particular cruise is going to be a wine cruise. So all of you wine enthusiasts, we're going to have, of course, our normal Porsche content, but we're going to have some wine partners on board. And again, it's just going to be one of those things where you're not going to want to miss out. A bunch of PCA friends hanging out together.
And this ship, I was looking at a review of it, has a dedicated wine bar.
There you go.
So they obviously did that, and knowing that they would be doing this kind of tours.
Exactly. Video that we recently dropped, Damon did an awesome job editing it. I think you and I had a lot of fun doing it because it came out in the edits.
Yeah, it was the auction video that we try and do every time we visit Monterey during Monterey Car Week or Amelia Island during their car week. So this one was at Monterey, and we visited Gooding Christie's, followed by RM Sotheby's, and then Broad Arrow Auctions. So I think it's the first time we've gone to all three and captured it on camera.
Yep.
Or three different auction houses captured on camera at Monterey. We've done that at Amelia, but it was kind of cool to do that in Monterey this time.
Yeah, there was no shortage of cars that were pretty incredible.
And we literally have one day to do this.
Yeah.
So we start pretty early, and because the next day we're setting up for works. So I wish we had time to sit at every car and have a long discussion about the condition, what it's going to sell for, and whatnot. But that's just not.
You guys did mention the pre-sale estimates for every car, and we listed the price that they sold. If they sold, there were a handful that didn't sell at the auction. One of which we know is still for sale at time of recording. So pretty cool if you want to see the market. There were some surprises in there. I think, it kind of paints the picture through the prices of what we're living through right now.
Did we cover that? Did we cover that RS that was repaired?
We did.
Yes, we did.
Yep.
Yeah. So
that was a bargain.
Yeah, it was. I don't know if I should mention it, but I'm going to anyway. But I'm pretty sure that RS, and I didn't think of it until weeks later. I know the guy who owned that, and I know what happened to it.
You say you drove it, or you just
No. I saw it in his garage, but I drove with that person and another friend who, and I met the guy who owned that. If it is the same person, but on my way to Birmingham, I drove with him and one other friend on some back roads, and he had some other car.
Yeah,
I remember seeing that.
So
and 2 or 3 weeks later, I remember getting a text from my friend that, remember that RS that, we looked at in his garage.
Yeah.
So you saw it before
I saw it about 2 or 3 weeks before it happened.
I know you sent us the pictures of it, and I thought
he had just got the car, and Bob Miller had found it for him. So it's small world.
Yeah, here it is. Watch the video for the full details for all the other ones, but the RS that he's talking about was really below market, and the reason being is there was some repair work that was done, and it was done by Porsche Classic, so it was a quality restoration job, but it had a branded title because of the incident. But man, if you want to get into a 964 RS for, I would say,
It was like estimate. It was like 100 and some.
It was
Yeah.
150 to
Yeah.
175 to 200. It actually went for 225.
And I got to say,
So
when you
it
showed
beat
us the
his estimate.
pictures of it wrecked,
Yeah.
I was, the first thing you do is you look at the seams. So
Right, right.
That tells a lot. And the seams were pretty straight.
Yeah.
Which told me that whatever he hit, if he hit a guardrail or something, he hit it so straight on.
He was hit.
He was hit.
Yeah, and it was low speed.
Okay,
I
yeah.
don't remember all the specifics.
but it seemed like it was
yeah.
the rear quarter panel took most of the brunt of it because the wheel didn't even look
But
like
it didn't
was
push anything.
Nope.
Everything was, at least from the picture, you could see looked like the gaps were fine. The glass didn't break, so you knew it couldn't have bent the car that much if the glass didn't
Right,
break.
right.
It was It was low speed. If this is indeed the same car, it was a low speed thing.
Well, congratulations to whoever bought it because you got an RS for, I think.
It's the one I would have bought if I had the money.
Yeah.
They got my attention. I'm thinking, are they coming down in price? And I didn't read the whole thing. It was Ray Schaefer came up and told me about it. I'm like, I was wondering why it seems to be really below market value.
Exactly. All right. Just to remind you, if you're interested, check out PCASimRacing.com. We've got some races that are coming up, but if you're just looking to learn how to sim race, we've got some how-to and some resources available to get you all set up. You can race with PCA members all over our membership here. We also have PCA Insider swag. Head over to PCA web store, you've got bottles, you've got t-shirts, you've got mugs if you'd like. But if you're just looking for a PCA Insider decal, send us your address information to podcast@pca.org. Well, we need to continue to keep cleaning and getting ready for all of our friends that are coming this Saturday. Is there anything else before we wrap up this edition? All good? Well, thank you all for listening. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and consider sharing our show with fellow Porsche enthusiasts. Until next time, stay safe, and we'll catch you down the road.